Sẹ́rí ọ̀rọ̀ iná tó lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí kò dára. Báwo ni yóò ṣe lé sí ẹ̀ẹ́dùnmọ̀ fún owó iná? À ń sanwó iná dáa lò. Láti ọdún máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ètò ìsìná.
Òsì náà.
Kọ́ńtì gbogbo nǹkan ti dàrú kọ́ńtì yìí. Àwọn àdínà lò, àárín lò, ẹ tó fún owó iná. Tó dáa, ẹ bá wa wá nǹkan ṣe sí i. Ó yẹ kó mọ̀ lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Tí bàbá àárín lò, àárín lò, tẹ bá fowó lé a máa sanwó. À ń sanwó fún tá à ń lò. Wọ́n ń dá à lò tá à ń sanwó fún. Ó dáa.
Ó ṣe at least táwọn ò bá tiẹ̀ tí ò bá wọ pé àwọn sanwó iná lọ́jọ́ wá sí to even feed ourselves these days is very hard in this country. Just talk of paying bills of asanwó iná asanwó omi gan kò sí so kí ni ìjọba ìfà ní pé àlọ́ ìdòdó sọ̀rọ̀ ìgbádùn wa àti ọmọ ìgbádùn owó ìjọ àdúgbò ọ̀pọ̀ láti amẹ́ ìgbésí tó bá rọrùn fún àti ìpínlẹ̀ láti sọ àyè nínú ẹ̀rẹ́ wà wọ́n máa ṣe one of the things nínú ẹ̀rẹ́ wà dáadáa.
Ẹgbẹ́ tó lórí ìwà wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó sì lórí iná it's not okay àti ọbẹ̀ pa wá ni ṣọ́bẹ̀ pa wá ni.
Owó ti tọ́ ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ṣéèdì.
Ilé yẹn náà rẹ̀ di àgbádùn. Kí ló fi lè máa mú Nàìjíríà ìlọ ní gómìnà ọ́fíìsì ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbà àtàgẹ́rẹ́tọ̀ ní ọ́fíìsì. Ilé àgbádùn náà rẹ̀ di
The light bill the landlord brought us was 60,000 naira. Last month he said they brought 100,000 naira. As a corper, how do you expect us to pay 100,000 naira? Like now, 4 flats for the 100,000 naira. How do we share it among us?
The tariff that has just been jacked up by the federal government on electricity. I would liken the case of Nigeria to the case of a man who has been sick, bedridden in the hospital, probably in the intensive care unit, gasping for breath in what appears to be his last moment on earth. And the doctor who is to take care, who is expected to be treating the man, just emerged from nowhere, bring out hammer, and he begin to hammer the man. You can understand what the fate of that man will be. Nigeria is that man who is bedridden in the hospital, in the intensive care unit, gasping for breath. So with this removal of subsidy or increase in the tariff of electricity, the federal government has succeeded in bringing out the hammer. And they want to hammer down a man who has been bedridden, who has been gasping for breath. And it will not be surprised if the obituary of that man is announced very soon. It is another blow on our economy. The engine of every economy is energy. Subsidies has been removed. Manufacturing industry have been battling with that to the extent that as it stands today, if our statistics is right, and if the Bureau of Statistics will be very honest with their findings, they will tell you that more than 30% of small-scale industry are either dead or dying ever since the removal of that subsidy. Because they cannot survive. They cannot survive because the cost of production even exceed what can effectively compete with what is being imported. So they are closing their factories. Now, another blow on that same energy. And don't forget that this energy has never been consistent. Now they are going to be paying more when the services are getting poorer. So very soon we are all going to be reaping the fruit, because at the end of the day, all of us are going to have a share, a good share of what the federal government has just done. The manufacturing industry, the consumers, every Nigeria. Because when the cost of energy increases like this, and the energy is not even there, the cost of production, even individual in his own, who is one way or the other connected to the usage of energy, definitely will bear the brunt. So what we are going to experience, you are going to start to see the consequences in terms of loss of job. There is going to be layoff of we have been witnessing it already. But there is going to be an upsurge in it because many industry who have been managing before this increase, definitely some of them will close down. Or some of them will begin to maybe start rationalizing. They may begin to, reduce their production. And of course, we all know that will lead to reduction of their staffs and all that. Individual who runs one business or the other also is going to be at the brunt. And of course, now you are going to ask me, why would they have done this? They said, okay, I have read so much about the reason why it must be done at this particular time. And they're saying that, okay, if the energy company must sustain itself, we must do what we must do. The question we should ask ourselves is this. If federal government will not be able to subsidize energy, then what is it that they are going to subsidize? And I've been reading in the recent time, they are subsidizing religious activities. I read just recently that the federal government has released 90 billion naira to subsidize Hajj. I have nothing against Hajj. And what that means is that by the time people who are going to Jerusalem are ready, federal government also should be preparing to pump another 90 billion naira to the subsidy of religious activity. And it tells us something. It tells us the fact that the government we have on ground is not a government that believes in solving problems. It's not a solution providing government. It's a government that believes in point scoring. And that is why it has fallen and of course accepted the blackmail. I mean, in an attempt to dodge the blackmail that will come out of the fact that, okay, it's not funding Hajj, it's not funding Jerusalem. That's why there's going a country that will not fund energy, that powers our economy, is releasing 90 billion naira to those who are going for Hajj. Now the question we should ask ourselves, where did they get the money? Was the money part of what was budgeted in this 2024 budget? Did the money pass through the National Assembly and it was approved? Where did they get it? But don't let us go into it. We do not even know where we are. Because the consequences of what has just happened, nobody can predict it. And I can tell you, it's going to be very disastrous.